Do you wish you knew exactly how to write a sales post to attract soulmate clients using the most powerful gifts from your astrology chart? Well, guess what? Now you can learn how for free. I'm going to share my cosmic copywriting secrets that have helped people to instantly turn strangers on the internet into buyers for their high-ticket offers. In my 5-part training series, Cosmic Attraction Copywriting, you'll learn the mindset switch that takes my clients from feeling confused about their content or not feeling fully safe to share their story online to making sales more easily and naturally than ever before, with the astrological placement that unlocks a new level of depth in your storytelling that builds trust 10 times faster with the clients who are genuinely a very aligned fit to work with you. Plus, the messaging tweaks that take my clients from attracting people who can't afford it to easy sales into 5-figure offers with no sales calls. And you'll get clarity on the 3 things your soulmate clients need to hear from you consistently in your message to feel confident and excited to buy your offer. You'll also get my writing process prompts to share your story in a powerful way that stands out to the right people and leads to ready to buy clients popping up into your DMs asking to work with you. Click the link in the description for instant access to Cosmic Attraction Copywriting. This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a 6-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi, I'm Sarah Mack, here to help you become a 6-figure creative by filling your high-ticket offer through authentic storytelling and astrology-guided content strategy. And this is part 2 in my 3-part series on high-ticket sales. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, High-Ticket Sales Explained, Unlocking High-Ticket Clients and Marketing Using Astrology, definitely go and check that one out. It was so good. And today we are going to talk about one of the biggest game changers to how much money you're actually making and with how much ease you are filling your high ticket offers, and that is confidence and self-esteem. And next week is the final part in this series where we are going to be talking about client attraction systems for high ticket coaching and life coaching. So definitely make sure you stay tuned for all of these episodes. They are so good. And if you know you're done with trying to figure out your message, pricing, and launch strategy alone, and you're ready for deep levels of support and high-touch mentorship to launch and fill your high-ticket offer this year, know that I do have spots available inside my 6-month private mentorship offer, Sell Your Magic Like Magic. So please reach out or click the link in the description for the details to apply. So let's talk about confidence. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel that you will fill your high ticket offer this month, this quarter, this year? And notice what comes up for you around that question. Because confidence is something that you simply have to have. It's a skill set. It's a habit system. It's a belief system. It's an energetic state and way of being. And this is the most game-changing truth, is it's a choice. And this was one of my very first lessons when I started working on my mindset because I wanted to make more money in my business. I write about this in my book, The 6-Figure Creative, Heal Your Relationship with Money, Doing the Work That You Love, about how one of my very first business coaches, Emily Williams, I joined her mindset membership and the first lesson was about how confidence is a choice. And that just blew my mind. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I could just choose to be confident. Obviously, it can go very in depth, and there's very many, very real, very good reasons why confidence can feel unattainable or far reaching or difficult to maintain, especially as entrepreneurs, because we're always learning new things. We're always doing things we've never done before. And confidence naturally comes through repetition, it comes through practice. But there's definitely a lot of foundational work that will take us very, very, very far when we bring the attitude that we can approach whatever we're doing with as much confidence as possible. And I think being able to acknowledge and close that gap with self-compassion without doing what so many of us very often do, which is turn our lack of results on ourselves and make it our fault and make it mean that there's something wrong with us and make it mean that we're not capable, which then just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and a spiral that leads to continued lack of results. So, I keep repeating, this is one of my favorite lines that really helps my clients, which is that nobody will value your work more than you do. So when we're talking about significantly raising your prices, and maybe you're even breaking your industry by starting to charge more money for your gifts and your skills and your talents, and maybe you are being the way shower, the way paver. You are, I attract a lot of Aquarian type revolutionary leadership energy because I have my Jupiter in Aquarius in the 5th house, which is creativity and play and pleasure and our inner child. And so many of us who are here having these conversations, who are doing this work, who are in my world and my business, working with me as clients, so many of us are breaking old narratives around settling for less money, around not valuing our gifts, around, stepping out and choosing to claim financial abundance and freedom, doing the work that we love, even if all we've seen in the past in our industry is people telling us that we cannot charge more for the work and the gifts that we share, or that people won't pay it, or that we're not valuable, or that, it's rude or it's upsetting or it's disruptive to be charging and receiving an abundant amount of money for our gifts and our energy exchange that we offer. So this is most likely you. And, part of stepping out into creative leadership is being willing to upset people. It's being willing to break the rules. And I think one of the biggest messages for you in my work is you are highly creative. You can create something from nothing. You can take a vision and realize it into physical form. You've done this many, many times over, whether that's through the meals that you prepare or the children that you've birthed or the businesses that you've brought to life or the clients that you've attracted or the transformation that you've created in your client work using your intuitive gifts and your unique blend of skills and methodologies. So you can do that with money. You can create results that have never been seen before with money. You can charge prices that have never been seen before in your industry. You can disrupt, you can make people uncomfortable, and you can get results. And remember, the people that are uncomfortable, the people that are going to complain, are going to be the people that are lining up asking you how you did it after you've done it. So it can be uncomfortable, right? Especially when we're conditioned with this people-pleasing mentality of not wanting to rock the boat, not feeling safe to upset other people, right? Because we have these mechanisms that live within us, deep, deep, deep within our psyche and our subconscious, that think it's not safe to upset people because maybe we grew up around environments where it genuinely wasn't safe to upset others because it might lead to physical violence or emotional abuse. So we have to undo these patterns of survival, these protective mechanisms that are actually holding us back from thriving and from having more freedom and having more self-expression and impact and income. So it is literally your job to be confident in your message and offer, especially when it comes to highest ticket. No one's going to buy high ticket from someone who's not fully confident in their work and their offer. And, this is the work that every single person has to go through when you are launching a new high ticket offer. And, there's many, many paths of least resistance to get there quickly and powerfully. And really, this is the work that I do with clients, whether they're, launching a high ticket offer at just the same work, but much higher prices, or whether they're pivoting into a slightly different niche or message or conversation and way of helping their clients. There's always going to be that little voice, those little gremlins that come up when we're doing something that we don't have a ton of evidence around already because it's new. So we have to build that evidence as fast as we can, no matter how we're expressing ourselves, no matter how we're looking to, be paid and create revenue in our business, or as a creative, no matter what it is that you want to be paid for, there's going to be gremlins, right? So we have to have methods and habits and rituals and practices to take care of those little gremlins that are just trying to keep you safe, that are just trying to keep you the same, to stop you from changing so that you can continue to survive the way that you have been surviving up until now. And when we get good at cultivating confidence, that is the best hack ever to be making more sales, because that makes you extremely magnetic. Confidence and conviction sells more than the perfect message. It sells more than any fancy branding. It sells more than absolutely anything else. As long as people can feel it, when you fully believe in what you're selling, people feel that. And especially when we're in the transformational coaching world, the number one thing people are hiring you for is conviction, because they would have what they wanted if they had conviction about it. And sometimes the only difference, the only thing that closes the gap between where you are now and where you want to be is having enough conviction to make the damn moves that get the results. And we all know this, right? We're all helping clients do this every single day, but it's so much harder to turn that work on ourselves. And that's why we need support and we need mentors and we need people who are a step or two ahead, who have that conviction because they have a ton of evidence, and you plug in to the conviction of your mentors, and it gives your brain something more positive to latch onto that is going to lead to so much less resistance and so much more power in the moves that you make towards the specific results that you are choosing to create. So pay attention, take notes. What is coming up for you around this conversation? And one of the placements in our astrology chart, which can give us a lot of information, is Saturn, because Saturn is like the school teacher. It's here to give us the lessons that we need, but that might be so, so, so deeply challenging for us. And this is why it's so powerful to understand our Saturn placement, because there are some lessons, there are some challenges which are trying to steer us in a different direction, right? And understanding our Saturn can tell us when it's actually a direction that we need to kind of knuckle down and roll up our sleeves and do the work and learn the lesson and persevere, rather than, sometimes when we're going in a different direction, it's genuinely not the right direction for us if we are experiencing a ton of resistance and a ton of challenges. And I'm a big believer in following the path of least resistance, but it can be so empowering to know sometimes there are just those hard lessons that we have to go through. And it's that nuance in the conversation of alignment in where do I roll up my sleeves and persevere, and where do I just switch it up and move in a different direction. So understanding your Saturn placement and leaning into those conversations and those lessons and really creating mastery in these areas can put you on the fast track to getting what you want. And these are often really the most important lessons for us to learn. So my Saturn is in the third house, and which represents social media and communication. So know that I have not had it easy in growing my visibility and growing my online brand. And I underwent deep transformation and healing to build my personal brand. My Saturn is also in Scorpio. And this is really the lesson and the challenges that equipped me and brought me all of these gifts and this wisdom and experience to be able to then support my clients and community. So yeah, it's not always fun, right? If you remember or you have been going through your Saturn return, sometimes it can be the least fun moments of your entire life. I had chronic fatigue for 5 years, my entire life, burned to the ground, and I had 6 p.m. headaches. I had to delay graduating from my master's. I didn't see my partner for 6 months that year. I didn't see most of my friends. I put all my stuff in storage. I didn't have a home. I was literally homeless, just bumbling around the world. My career came crashing down in film. That was like a big pivot moment for me. That was, extremely challenging, extremely painful. But it gave me everything that's incredible in my life now. Plus, Saturn is squaring my sun and my Mercury in the 12th house. So, and I think a lot in this community will resonate with this feeling of wanting to be seen and wanting to stay hidden. And I am just the epitome of that energy because the 12th house is behind the veil. It's ruled by Pisces. It's everything that's hidden. And, I think many of us who are writers feel that because we love to just be hidden away in our cave with our laptop or our journal, writing, channeling, expressing ourselves, learning about ourselves through our craft. But we have nothing to write about if we don't go out there in the world, if we don't go and have adventures and meet people and fall flat on our face and go through pain. And, that is our material. So we have to navigate that line between nurturing ourselves and giving ourselves what it is that we need to be, performing at our highest levels of creativity. And we have to be willing to go out there and fall flat on our face and experience humiliation and go through shame and, go through all of the things that our unconscious is trying to protect us from. 12th house is also the unconscious or the subconscious. So I get it, wanting to be seen. I'm a Leo. I want to shine. I want to be seen. I love attention, but I also just want to be in the bed in my office with a cozy blanket, journaling by myself for hours and hours. And I have historically struggled with growing my visibility online, from procrastinating on my website for 2 years straight without even being aware that it was literally on the top of my to-do list every day for 2 years. And I didn't even notice that for some reason I wasn't launching my first website, to losing my Instagram account of more than 3,000 people, to getting blocked by Facebook from running ads for no apparent reason, and having to start my third Instagram account from scratch. It seems that there's a pattern for me. Whenever I start to grow, whenever I start to expand, suddenly something comes out of left field and I have to start from scratch again. And I don't ever believe that we ever have to start from scratch. But our unconscious is extremely powerful. And so we have to work with it to create safety, to be fully creatively self-expressed. So I'm continually working with my unconscious to address my deep-seated feelings of resistance to becoming more visible. And yesterday, so I work with an EMDR therapist, eye movement desensitization and something. I don't remember. I should learn because I talk about it a lot. I highly recommend this technique, which is working with our unconscious emotions. And what came up when I was asking, because I'm ready. I'm ready to scale my business. I've been working and just revamping, getting ready to reach more people with my work. And I'm bored, frankly, of whatever it is that has my foot on the brake. And so whenever we ask a powerful question, we get the answers. And I think everything will emerge. Everything emerges when we're ready, right? So we really have to trust our process. Like, even with this episode, I was supposed to record it last week and then it didn't happen. And for those of you in Millionaire Witch Club, you know I've been working on really systematizing my content calendar. And I could have given myself a hard time about it, but I didn't, because I know, and I learned this lesson really well from publishing my book. Every creative message has a gestational process. You know, I was just talking to my friend yesterday who's about to give birth, and there are so many things when it comes to creativity that we do not have control over. And we have to trust the process. And, you know, and it just, the penny dropped today when I was getting ready to record this. And I was like, oh, of course I had to record this after the EMDR breakthrough that I had yesterday, because this is another really potent part of this message. And the memory that came up for me was when I was bullied at dance school. And I dropped out when I was I think I was about 11. And I don't remember the specifics. One thing I've learned about myself is that my mind blocks out anything traumatic. I was just talking to my best friend was in town, and we were talking about another friend who I fell out with. And she was like, don't you remember this? And I was like, no, I don't remember this whole conversation where she was kind of being a bitch to you. And I was like, she's like, didn't you ever wonder why you aren't friends anymore? I was like, yeah, literally all the time. I'm like, I wonder why we're not friends anymore. She was like, yeah, this whole conversation. I was like, I do not remember anything of that. So I don't remember exactly what happened at dance school when I was young. All I remember is kicking and screaming and being like, I do not want to continue dancing. Even though I loved dancing, I did not like the bitches at that school. You know how it gets when girls are young. And so I dropped out. And then I was also bullied at school. And I would kind of switch from friend group to friend group. And I've always been a bit of a social butterfly because I'm a Gemini moon. But, you know, and there are obviously many benefits to that, of knowing many, many people and having relationships with many, many people. I think of myself as a little bumblebee who I connect people. I know whatever you need, I know somebody, and I can connect you to somebody who can help you with absolutely anything that you need to solve or fill in your life. And that's such a beautiful thing. You know, and I've traveled the world and I've experienced so many cultures, but it's definitely, you know, the flip side of that is I've avoided going through deeper intimacy in relationships and going through some of the challenges of life together and some of the challenges of relationships together. So, you know, you can see how things that happen to us as we're growing up, they create these behavior patterns. And suddenly I can see how I'm doing this on social media. I build my audience on Facebook to 5,000 people, then I decide I don't want to be there anymore. And I went onto LinkedIn for a bit, built an audience of 5,000 people there, then was like, don't really like it over here. Went over to Instagram. So you can see, now I can see how this behavior pattern, while it has its benefits, it also has its downfall. And so now I have that information and I get to work with that part of me that is constantly wanting to move and go elsewhere because it doesn't feel safe to get more intimate or to get deeper or to just stay in one place long enough for things to progress. And as someone who was sexually assaulted as a child, there's a big part of me that has not felt safe to be seen in my full sensuality. And maybe, you know, and I think I've always been a tomboy. Like, my mom expresses her disappointment as to how I used to hate wearing dresses, even as a little girl, and how happy she was when my sister was born, who was just like the perfect little doll, loves to wear dresses. So I've always loved to dress like a boy. But part of me has wondered, you know, has that also been a protective mechanism as I've got older to hide my sensuality, to not attract unwanted sexual attention? And I think as women, we all experience this, right? Like, we've all been catcalled down the street. There is a part of us that does not feel safe to be fully expressed. And, you know, I switched from a 90% male-dominated industry, the film industry, to pretty much exclusively working with women and femmes, and other minority identities, because it felt so much safer for me to fully be myself. And it felt so much safer for me to be recognized for things other than just my body or a label or a stereotype. And so the affirmations that I'm continually working with, continually to reprogram in are: it's safe to be creative. It's safe to be sensitive. That's another one too, right? Like knowing that when we open up, when we're vulnerable, when we share that deep, deep sensitivity that so many of us have as created, we do risk being hurt. We do risk that rejection. And when we're rejected for things that we deeply, deeply care about, it's that much more painful, right? And I went through a lot of this in getting ready to publish my book. So more affirmations are: it's safe to be sensual. It's safe to be fully self-expressed. It's safe to be fully creatively expressed. It's safe to be seen. It's safe to attract attention. And I know so many of us are dealing with this because, I mean, trolls for one, right? Like those gross dudes on the internet who...
The Cosmic Copy Mastermind is the place to get the support that will bring your dream of becoming a six-figure creative to life in 2025 by selling your high-ticket offers with sales copy driven by stories and guided by astrology. Your goal is to fill your high-ticket offer with dreamy soul clients. But right now, you're wondering what exactly needs to shift in your content to start seeing consistent sales month after month, right? You're posting consistently, and maybe you're even getting great engagement, but you can't quite figure out why people aren't lining up to buy your life-changing offer. You know your work is incredible. Maybe you're even getting a ton of referral clients. But when it comes to putting your unique magic into words that clearly paint the picture of what it's actually like to work with you, it feels complicated. Or maybe you keep getting in your head about your high-ticket prices and thinking that that's the problem. Well, let me tell you, it's not your price. You're not alone in this. It's not easy to put your magic into clear copy that converts when you try to do it alone. I've made multiple six figures in my business, and I've written copy for more than 1,000 entrepreneurs, and I continually invest in mentorship around messaging. Why? Because it makes it easier to consistently create content that leads to sales every month. That's why I created this mastermind, where we'll use your astrology chart to remind you of your unique genius, gifts, and personal story, using personalized prompts with my hands-on support and edits to translate all your magic into content that's building your six-figure brand in a way that feels authentic, aligned, and so much fun. This is my magic, helping you to attract deeply compatible clients through authentic storytelling driven by your unique astrology, and doing it in an inspiring community of other creative entrepreneurs making big moves, living life to the full, and building your version of a six-figure dream business. Message me the word mastermind on Instagram at SarahMacMagic for the full details.
Need therapy and just degrade our experience of being online. But beyond that, I know so many clients I've worked with who are legitimately, recovering from narcissistic and abusive relationships. And there legitimately are people who are out to get them, who they're in court procedures with, or who they're in custody battles with, and, toxic family members who are just going to make their life miserable when they start shining and being fully expressed and claiming their desires through their business, through their online impact and brand. So we're dealing with a lot, right? Confidence isn't just you should just be good at it. Like, we're literally battling generations of oppression and systematic abuse. And it's huge. It's a huge, huge deal for us to step out of that conditioning, to step out of that patterning, and to be fully seen for who we are, and to lead with our desires, and to claim the things that we value, to boldly share the messages that we stand for, and to risk upsetting people, to risk disrupting the systems that we are a part of. So just give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a pat on the back. You are a freaking champion, and your voice and your message has never been needed more now than ever. So how do we set ourselves up for success with feeling confident so we can go out there and shine and be seen and impact the people that we are here to impact? Number one is trusting our desire, right? So cultivating our desire by actually listening to it. So how do we do that? That is a habit. So how do we detach from our desire? Is when we get caught up in the busy work, we get caught up in productivity, in procrastination, in work, push, all of the busy work of the day to day, which is so easy to get sucked into. So carving out consistent space to actually connect to our bodies and to actually nourish and nurture our bodies so that they feel good. Because we all know if you're burnt out, it's very hard to feel desire for anything because we need to get to that baseline of rest. In order for us to give, we have to fill up our cup first. So prioritizing what makes us feel good day to day as a habit, even if it's 5-10 minutes of meditation, yoga, going for a walk, taking a nap, doing some journaling, watching your favorite comedy show, eating the most delicious food, whatever it is for you that fills up your cup, do more of it. Do more of it more frequently, less excuses, less guilt, and really stoking that desire. And for those of us who are sacral authorities in human design, like this is everything. This is everything. Listening to that yes from our body. And the other practice, which I have seen to be the most powerful in cultivating a fertile bed of confidence from which everything we do in life will grow, is to nurture our creativity. And why is that? I talked about this a lot because when we create something from nothing, we're reminded of how freaking magic we are. Whether that's like the most beautiful avocado toast that you make for breakfast, that you had the idea and you went and sourced the ingredients and you made that delicious breakfast because you were visioning it and you were craving it and you wanted to do something great for yourself. Or whether it's just singing a song or putting on your favorite song and dancing in front of the mirror and being like, look at my amazing body, look how it can move and create, and the music can move through me, and how magical is life. Whether it's hearing your own voice, whether it's writing words on the page, writing a poem, expressing your love for the person in your life that you're obsessed with, like whatever it is that just makes you feel creatively alive, jumping out of a plane, I don't care what it takes. But those small moments of creative self-expression, purely for the joy of it, not because you have to post content today, not because there's a deadline on your project, not because someone else is, pressuring you to complete a project for them, but doing it for yourself and really playing it, that creates confidence. Notice how you feel after you have been playing for the sake of playing, because it creates presence, it creates connection to our body, it creates connection to our soul. And when we express that, it's so all-consuming that we can't worry, that we disengage from those gremlin thoughts, that the tension in our body starts to melt, those holding patterns start to break. And that's the space where we become receptive to inspired ideas. And Neptune has just moved into Aries. So this is a time of creative leadership. Aries is all about going first. It's all about bold courage, about making moves before someone has given us permission or validation or even understands us. And Neptune is our creative dreams. So that combination is so, so powerful. We're stepping into a 14-year period of really learning to make moves on our creative visions. And this is really a conversation about trusting our creativity. So one of my favorite ways to nurture my creativity has always been playing guitar and singing. And this was really an intuitive pull that I felt back in 2011. And a guy I was dating bought me a guitar. And I used to cry so much whenever I sang. So it has always been a very healing self-care practice for me. And it took me a long, long time to get to a place where I was comfortable playing in public before I had built my songwriting practice and Then I wrote and performed poetry. I ended up winning a poetry competition in the UK. I've since written and performed my original songs on stage in Montreal and New York. So just know that wherever you are in your relationship with expressing yourself and your message and growing your business and creating whatever it is you feel called to create, or engaging in creative practices that are calling you, it's a process. And the only way we get to that deep, deep, deep fulfillment of seeing our visions realized is by committing to that process and seeing where it leads us and allowing us to be in the mess and allowing it to transform us. And this is the true power of our creativity. When we surrender to it, when we engage in it, it transforms us. And so imagine combining that energy with your relationship with money and sales and business and brand building and visibility and community impact. I'm reminding you to bridge the gap and to bring all of your creative power, of which you have so much, and you have so much evidence of your creative power, to just recognize that you have that in the arena of money and sales and client attraction and brand building. And it's just about practicing. It's about building a practice. It's about showing up. It's about surrendering to the mess and allowing it to transform you. So whatever tools, whatever paths are calling to you, and I think a lot of us are feeling this pivot right now to really surrender to our creativity, because that is where our leadership lies. That is the path to our highest success and our highest impact and our highest income, is listening to and following our creative urges. And that, combined with doing the unconscious work and having a clear, sustainable, fun strategy around all of it, this is the key to evolving to become the kind of people who can reach our goals, who can charge the money that we want, who can do it confidently and repetitively, month after month, year after year, and to get to those 5-figure months, 6-figure years, doing the work that we know that we're here to do. So it's really been this work with my relationship with money, with my relationship with creativity, that has actually made my audience size irrelevant. I hit my first 6-figure year with less than 200 people on my email list, thanks to following my intuition to sell high ticket. And I'm always working through next levels of growing my visibility, of working with more and more people. I've sustained a business over 8 years, working with a very, very small number of people. And, this is the blessing of having created and published a book, is it's really transforming me. It has stoked the desire to reach more people, because I want more people to read my book, because I know the power it has to not only change people, but to change our culture when more people embody these values and do this work and create different results in their relationship with money and earning abundantly, doing the work that they love and not having to sacrifice by doing shit that we hate, that's outside of our integrity, that isn't us really leaning into offering our true highest value gifts to the most people. So just check in. What can you add into your daily habits to boost your creativity? What makes you feel good in your body? What makes you feel good in your heart and your soul and your mind? And add something for 5-10 minutes. And commit to it every day, and see how you feel as you start to show up and sell at those next levels, as you really commit to those goals to fill your high ticket offer and to take a stand for those prices that you really desire to be receiving. So experiment. Let me know how it goes, and come and join us in Millionaire Witch Club, which is my free community where we have a monthly full moon circle, and we have a WhatsApp chat where there's a lot of other writers and creatives and entrepreneurs in there building very magical brands and having so much fun doing it. So that is the space for you to come and get that consistent community support to plug into when you're feeling wobbly or when you're getting off track, come and join us over there. And I hope you have loved this episode. Let me know your takeaways. Let me know how your confidence experiment goes. And please leave a review over on iTunes, and I will love you forever. And be sure to tune in next week, where we will be talking about client attraction systems for high ticket coaching and life coaching. I'm sending you so much love. See you next week. Bye.
For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Are you a healer, witch, creative, or magical entrepreneur who's ready to fill your high-ticket one-on-one or group coaching program, and you want a sales page that will do the selling for you? Maybe you're tired of having a calendar full of sales calls and you want a sales page that can clearly articulate your offer and guide interested clients to feel ready to buy without needing to talk to you first. Maybe you already have a sales page and people are clicking on it but not reaching out, and you want to feel clear on what to say and what not to say to turn interested people into actual buyers. Having sales pages for my offers has led to filling a high-ticket group coaching program with 10 clients at $1,000 each while traveling on vacation for 2 weeks and launching using repurposed content. Having 5-figure months from sales into my $5,000 evergreen mastermind with no live launching beyond daily social media content. Signing clients into my $17,000 private mentorship program with no sales calls. When you book my Cosmic Sales Intensive, you'll walk away with a full, clear, compelling sales page for your high-ticket offer that will attract ready-to-buy clients and that you can continue to make sales with for years to come. Clients who have been through this offer have created a sales page that went on to sell out a high-ticket relationship coaching mastermind, had 20 applications within 48 hours of publishing, sold several $15,000 private mentorship packages, and even had a 6-figure launch with the sales page and content strategy we created within just a few weeks. Stop losing people with fluffy language that sounds the same as so many others in your industry, and clearly articulate why your work is worth $5,000 to $10,000 plus, even when you sell things like astrology, human design, breathwork, mindset coaching, or energy work. Book your Cosmic Sales Intensive now at withsarahmac.com or via the link in my description.